Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash. My name is Yakalba from Plain Tables Camp in Philly. And some British American news. I knew about this last September or October, November, something like that. And this accident happened over the summertime. The wife of a U.S. Diplomat that had diplomatic immunity. The wife, I forget his exact position, but the wife, she killed a British citizen. So I'm doing this lesson. Well, I didn't know how to really bring it out, when I knew about it, but just sat on it for a little while, and now I'm bringing it out. So the point is about the relations between the whore, which is America, and the different European nations, the 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, Britain is a part of that, and through series of events and accidents and provocations, the America's allies are going to turn their back on America and completely destroy the daughter of Babylon with their nuclear arsenal. So small incidents like these and larger ones are going to act as a catalyst to the ultimate destruction. All right. I mean, this is a microcosm of, U.S. European or U.S. British relations being hurt. This is a catalyst, a substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction without itself undergoing a permanent chemical change, a person or thing that precipitates an event. All right. So this, you could say, relatively small. A person was, killed, and she fled the Britain and came back to America because she had diplomatic immunity. So listen in here, and then I'll play a short video. Bring 1 or 2 scriptures out. Obviously, I'm going to bring out Revelation 17 like I always do.
A diplomatic row is brewing between the US and Britain after Washington refused an extradition request for the wife of an American intelligence officer who's been charged in the death of teenager Harry Dunn. Harry was killed in a road traffic accident near a US base in the UK last summer.
At the time the accident occurred, and for the duration of her stay in the UK, the US citizen driver in this case had immunity from criminal jurisdiction. If the United States were to grant the UK's extradition request, it would set an extraordinary troubling precedent.
I called the US ambassador earlier to...
See how Esau, Edom, he can make rules and then break them immediately when it benefits him.
express the government's disappointment about this decision. We feel this amounts to a denial of justice, and we believe Sacoolas should return to the UK. We are now urgently considering our options.
That's the woman's name, Sacoolas. I put the spelling up. Should be up on the video and article I have.
Just to remind you, in August, 19-year-old Harry Dunn, riding a motorcycle, died in a head-on crash outside a US military base in England.
Yeah, she probably was on the phone.
Driver was Sacoolas, the wife of an American intelligence officer.
All right, wife of an American intelligence officer. So he doesn't give him a specific designation, but they just put him in the category of intelligence officer. All right, that's what RT's saying anyway. I think I have ABC News or some or CBS next.
Working there. She was officially charged with his death in December, but had already claimed diplomatic immunity and fled the UK months earlier. Well, after Sacoolas was charged, her lawyer said she would not return to the UK and described Harry Dunn's death as a terrible but unintentional accident. We heard from a lawyer.
Well, that sucks for Britain. That's like giving Britain a small little black eye. All right, so that's definitely making American and British relations suffer. All right, catalyst. Again, this is a microcosm, a small event that gives a light to a much larger events. Which that large event would be those nations, the European nations, that have the nuclear capability to shoot their missiles and destroy the daughter of Babylon. All right. At the end, at the very end. All right. All right. Here we go. It says Britain blasts U.S. refusal to extradite woman over crash that killed teen. Wait a minute, ain't America all about extraditing? Don't they want Julian Assange extradited? I think they may have already extradited him to the United States. I forget, but he was in Britain. Yeah, so it's hypocrisy. Oh man, only when it benefits him. All right, so we read the 17th verse in Revelation. It says they agree for a time. 17 Revelation, for the power hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the power shall be fulfilled. So it's going to come a day after certain prophecies are passed, like the RFID microchip tribulation, and then that time period is going to be over, and then they're going to shoot their nuclear arsenal and completely destroy Great Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. All right. Keep it moving.
For the first time in recent years, the U.S. has turned down an extradition request from the U.K.
Whose pomp was more stout than his fellow, or whose look was more stout than his fellow. All right. Meaning the daughter of Babylon, America, was more proud than Britain, Germany, Russia.
And Sacoolas fled Britain after allegedly hitting and killing 19-year-old Harry Dunn with her car. The State Department says she had diplomatic immunity.
There you go. She should put her face on newspapers everywhere. And it's not like the only picture I've been seeing. Maybe I can Google it. That's how you spell her name. And she murdered this innocent child, and then left the country on diplomatic immunity. That shows you how much character that these Americans got.
19-year-old Harry Dunn with her car. The State Department says she had diplomatic immunity. Imtiaz Tayeb is outside the U.S. Embassy in London. Imtiaz, what's the British response to this?
Good morning. Well, Harry Dunn's family certainly not very happy about this decision by Secretary Pompeo, but they remain defiant and continue to have high-level support. In a statement from the UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab, he said, quote, that he's urgently considering other options, and also went on to say that Britain would have acted differently in a similar case. Now, we, of course, have been following the case of Harry Dunn very closely from the very beginning.
Yeah, so if, a British citizen came to America, killed somebody, then fled back to Britain on diplomatic immunity, they saying, well, we would give him up. If he did, committed a crime, we would extradite him. So that's like, you can't trust a person that doesn't keep his word. That's not, friends are not supposed to behave in this manner. All right.
We spoke with his mother, Charlotte Charles, earlier this morning. Here's what she told us.
Nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's going to make us go away. It doesn't matter how long it takes. If it means that we've got to wait until the next administration in 4.5, 5 years' time, then we will.
Now, you'll remember Harry Dunn's parents met President Trump in the Oval Office last year, where they sensationally had Anne Sacoolas waiting in another room at the White House. Now, the family turned that meeting down, and since then, Britain's courts have charged Sacoolas with dangerous driving causing death. If convicted, the American mother of three could...
Dangerous driving causing death. I don't know the exact details on it, but it's probably on a cell phone or something. Dangerous driving causing death. So you get the point. I want to go to Daniels. Gotta say that this catalyst, a microcosm. Where are we at? It's 43rd verse. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. All right. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Yeah, because they really, the bond between America and the different EU nations is not as strong as at its beginning. You have here for they shall not cleave one to another. All right, that's why you see Britain trying to get out of the European Union. All right, because they think they can be more prosperous without that union. All right. Cling, it says Dabak. Amalek says Davak, but you say in the Hebrew say Dabak means to cling, to hold on tightly. Yeah, so if their union was solid, they would have no issue. You know, a person commits a crime, you give the criminal up. All right.
Could face up to 14 years in prison, something that Harry Dunn's family say could have been entirely avoided had she not fled the country. Gail.
We remember when the Harry Dunn's parents were here at this table. Very, very sad story. Thank you, MTS, reporting from London.
Yeah, that's when that's the first video I saw when they when this it was CBS interviewed. I remember I think this black woman here was interviewing the family. All right, so well, it even tells you in that it says I'm here. Genesis 4, or is it 5? Yeah, 4. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. This is Genesis 4 and 8. And this is the character of these Edomites. Even though it's Edomite on Edomite crime, who knows? They could be Jakes. They're British. That British chap, he could be, family could be Jake. I don't know. But that's the character of Edomites. This is the and Cain 4 and 8. Genesis 4 and 8. And Cain talked with his brother Abel. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel and his brother and slew him. And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? He said, I don't know. I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? That's a smart ass thing to say. Because no respect, no morals, honor. Nope. It goes out the window when it affects them. And now, we got 10th verse. And he said, what is this that thou hast done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. All right. Let's jump to 12. And when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. A person who has escaped from place or is hidden or is hiding. She fled on diplomatic immunity, especially to avoid arrest and persecution. There you go. And a vagabond, that's a person that wanders, shall thou be in the earth. All right, so the point is made. So let's look up the word fugitive. We got Nawai. A quiver, a totter, a stagger, a wander, a strike, a move, vibrate, swing, meaning you're moving about. All right, you're moving about. All right, kind of motion. So you went from one place to another to avoid being put to death or punished. And this is verified, the 13th verse. And Cain said unto the Lord, or Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the whole earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. All right, and that curse that was put on Cain is leprosy. All right. So the point is, these Edomites are fugitives, even when it comes to Edomite on Edomite crime. All right. So hope this lesson was edifying. I made my point. To the next lesson, Shalom.